A renewed war in Libya has begun as eastern Libyan forces try to push toward the center of Tripoli. The renewed conflict threatens to disrupt oil and gas supplies and dash hopes for an election in the country. The United Nations said 2,800 people have been displaced by clashes between forces, with more possibly fleeing to neighboring countries. Western governments have called for a de-escalation of the crisis. On Monday in Poland, teachers held a strike following failed talks over their demands for higher pay. The move puts pressure on the government, which intends to hold parliamentary elections this year. Reports say nearly 80% of teachers went on strike in the capital, Warsaw, with nearly half of the schools closed in other cities. The teachers' organization gave no indication as to how long the strike action will last. Zimbabwe will from this year start paying compensation to thousands of white farmers who lost land under former President Robert Mugabe's land reform nearly 2 decades ago. The initiative is in an attempt to bring closure to the highly divisive matter. 20 years ago, Mugabe's government evicted, sometimes violently, 4,500 white farmers and redistributed the land to around 300,000 black families, arguing that it was redressing imbalances from the colonial era. Amid escalating tensions in the South China Sea, 2 Russian destroyers and a tanker have docked in the Philippines for a goodwill visit. The most recent arrival comes just months before the 2 countries are due to sign a naval cooperation agreement. It also comes as the Philippines has accused China of staging ships near a Manila island. The Philippines and the U.S. are also currently conducting joint military exercises, which will finish on April 12th. President Donald Trump's Homeland Security Secretary, Christian Nielsen, has resigned. Trump announced on Sunday in a tweet that U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan would be taken over as head of the department. More in this report from France 24.
Christian Nielsen had signed on at the start of Donald Trump's presidency and headed the Homeland Security Agency for the past 18 months, during which time she became synonymous with the controversial policy of separating migrant children from their parents. This made her a frequent target of the Democratic opposition, as well as progressive groups. Meanwhile, she was also criticized by Trump, who questioned her ability to do the job and blamed her for a recent surge in migrants crossing the border. Publicly, however, he thanked Nielsen for her service, as he announced the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan will replace her as acting secretary.
With your World Outside report, I am Donella Hosten.